Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed last week alleged that the federal government is using the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to persecute him and officials of his administration because he refuses to defect to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Reacting to the governor's statement, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has described the claims as wild and far-fetched. The EFCC reiterated that it is an independent agency created to fight economic and financial crimes, adding that the commission is non-partisan and discharges its mandate without affection or ill will. Joining us on the show to set the record straight on Governor Mohammed's accusations is Wilson Uwujaren, EFCC's Director of Public Affairs. Good morning, Mr. Uwujaren. Good to see you. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us today on the morning show.
Good morning and compliments of the season to you.
Well, Wilson, same to you. Happy New Year.
Yes.
Well, Governor Bala Mohammed of Bauchi State says he's entitled to immunity. And why will a sitting governor who is entitled to immunity be subjected to harassment and investigation by the EFCC? He says also that he's been hounded because he has refused to join the ruling party, the APC that is. And that third is finance commissioner who was arrested and detained by the EFCC has no case to answer. Well, what do you say to all those allegations? And do you have, even if you have any prima facie case against Governor Bala Mohammed? As governor, he certainly cannot be arraigned because truly, as he claims, he enjoys immunity. So, what do you have to say to all of this? Although he says there will be war if the persecution continues. I don't know who is going to fight, whether it's the EFCC or it's the government of the day.
Well, thank you, Dr. Abati, for the question. As far as constitutional immunity is concerned, there's no debate about that. Governor Bala Mohammed has immunity under the Constitution, but I'm sure he's also reading that provision upside down. Constitutional immunity does not stop law enforcement from investigating any governor or even president and the vice president. There's no jurisprudence as it is that says EFCC cannot investigate Bala Mohammed, or that a charge should not include the name of a serving governor. We are not prosecuting Bala Mohammed. Bala Mohammed is not on the charge filed against officials of the Bauchi State Governor. And the most important thing as far as we are concerned is the allegation that is making about alleged partisanship on the part of the commission. And we take great exception to that allegation. Because if there's anything going for the EFCC is the independence of the agency. In the over 20 years that we have been in existence, I don't think we have given any indication that we are politically biased in carrying out our duty. In fact, politics has no business, no place in the work of the EFCC. And like we said in the statement that was issued moments after he made that allegation, I think it was a little bit, with due respect to His Excellency, it was a little bit reckless to come out with that kind of allegation. Especially the claim that the commission is acting at the behest of the Minister of the FCT, Mr. Nyesom Wike. I thought that was a bit derogatory. Mr. Wike is the Minister of the FCT, and I don't think that the EFCC is a parastatal of the FCDA that the minister can dictate to. We are not an institution under the supervision of the FCT minister, and so it was a little bit shocking to see a governor making that kind of allegation that a minister is dictating to the EFCC. How? Where? EFCC, for the benefit of our viewers, does not take dictation from any political office holder. The law that established the commission, the EFCC Act, makes us an independent body. And Section 6 of that Act specifically states the mandate of the commission, the functions of the EFCC. If you look at the Section 6 of the EFCC Act, EFCC is set up to fight all economic and financial crimes, and there are a number of laws that the Commission is set up to enforce. We can only come against you when you are in violation of some of those laws. Time will not permit me to list those laws because there are actually very many, and they have grown in terms of size and proportion since that law came into existence. But EFCC will not knock on your door except you are in violation of that law. And from the facts available to us, Nigerians already know the facts that we have placed before the court. The Federal High Court in Abuja, we have 2 charges pending before Justice Winty at the Federal High Court. And the information is now in the public domain. People can access the charge and decide for themselves whether what we have placed before the court is a product of vendetta or a product of careful investigation by the EFCC. And I think I should also make this point that politicians should leave EFCC out of their campaign. We are not in the political fray. People should not drag the commission into politics because we don't want to be there. We are not supposed to be there, and we will not be there. Right. But the fact that you are in a political position should also not be an immunity from prosecution or from investigation if you violate the law. Yeah. Okay. What should interest Nigerians is the fact that the commission is trying to enforce laws that will make sure that people who find themselves in position of authority don't dip their hand into the treasury and waste our resources.
All right.
And that is the thing that I think should actually interest all of our citizens.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Uwujaren. And we definitely applaud the work that EFCC has done and continues to do. What we want to see, like you mentioned, is people who are put in position in public trust then betray the trust by taking it out of the coffers. And that's all well and good. But the criticism around the politicization or perhaps the EFCC being a tool by administrations is not new. It's happened even in previous administrations. But in this particular one, the accusation is that in particular, the PDP has come under a lot of scrutiny. The kind of scrutiny that some of the current or previous governors or serving officials of the ruling party have not. A case in point is the difference in the way that EFCC handled the Yahaya Bello case, and now Governor Bala Mohammed, one of his commissioners, is said to be in your custody. For instance, Mr. Yahaya Bello, I don't know what the update on that case is. I mean, he's even announced now that he wants to run again in Senate. Well, how do you juxtapose that? How do you defend the cause that you're not kinder or softer in approach with a particular person and rather than another who is in the opposition party?
Well, if you look at it, EFCC in the last few weeks or months have taken high-ranking members of the ruling party and charged them to court for corruption. And we have not heard any member of the opposition come out to say, why did you take those officials?
Who are some of these ones? Can you name some of them? Can you name some of these high-profile members of the ruling party?
I believe that as journalists, you are aware of that.
No,
but I can mention one.
Please, go ahead.
For instance, is a member of the APC. He was charged to court. And I also know that in December, a former Minister of Aviation, who many of you thought that the case had died, was also taken to the court for alleged corruption. Those are ranking members of the ruling party.
Some people would even say some of the ministers.
And there are also a number of them. But also,
Mr. Uwujaren, let me a reminder as well.
I'm coming there.
Okay, let me just chip in a name so you can continue answering. Like the former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, for instance, is still under, I don't know if you conducted an investigation or so those are the kind of names and people that were accused, but we haven't heard anything yet.
Just give me time to learn. I'm coming to that. So we have taken on those ones, and I think we should run away from being trapped. I think the strategy that members of the opposition who are making all these allegations want to do is to use that to intimidate the EFCC, so that once you make this kind of allegation, somebody will say, no, don't touch members of the opposition. If you investigate them now, they will say you are going after the opposition. We should not force ourselves into a corner where we cannot, it will now seem as if once you are in the opposition, you have immunity against investigation. That should not be. Anybody, whether you are in the ruling party or you are in the opposition, if you violate the law, if you are found to be culpable, the commission can move against you. You are talking about people that we have investigated who we have not taken to court. There are quite a number of them that we have investigated. The matters are not, it's not as if we have forgotten about them. I'm sure that the executive chairman has come out to explain why, for instance, issue of Betedu, for instance, has not gone to court. There is the former governor of Delta State, for instance, Okowa. We have investigated him. We have not taken him to court. There are reasons why these cases have not gone to court. For instance, I am aware, for instance, that in respect of Okowa, for instance, there are foreign angle of the investigation that we are looking at. Letters have been sent to our counterparts in foreign countries that we are waiting responses from them, banks in foreign countries that we are waiting responses that we have not gotten, which is the reason some of those cases have not gone to court. The same thing with Betedu. I recall my chairman explained that most of the bank accounts that we are investigating, over 40 bank accounts that the commission is looking at, that we have not finished those investigations. And if we say, okay, because people are saying, why have you not taken them to court? And you stampede us to take them to court. And then those cases are thrown out. The same media that is asking this question will also accuse us of not doing thorough investigation before taking those cases to court. Criminal investigation can take a long time, for instance, before you charge people to court. The fact that we have called you to interview does not mean that once you come to EFCC, the next day charges will be filed. But what Nigerians should know is that EFCC does not close criminal matters. And criminal investigation is not status barred. It can take a number of years, for instance, before you charge somebody, but that does not mean those cases are forgotten. I will give you one example. The case of the former NSTSF executive chairman, Ngozi Uwujaren. That case, the investigation began in 2015. And many people thought that we have forgotten about the matter. But last year, she was charged to court. So sometimes investigation can take time if you want to do a thorough job. And that is the decision of the executive chairman, Mr. Alalukondi. He said he's not going to be in a hurry to charge. He's a lawyer. He said he's not going to be in a hurry to charge matters to court, except he's fully satisfied that we have all the ingredients that will sustain criminal prosecution in court. That is when we will go to court. But the fact that people are making allegations that you are targeting opposition political leaders should not be an immunity against investigation and prosecution of anyone who is found to be culpable in terms of criminal corruption-related allegations.
Oga Wilson, if you can hear me, I mean, it's quite curious to me that you're talking this way, because this was not the strength and the gusto at which the EFCC chairman was speaking as regards the Yaya Bello case. From all the evidence and the bank transactions from all the schools, you said they paid money to that time, that we in the media helped you. You remember we spoke a lot about this case. You people sent all your details to us. Nigerians are shell-shocked that till date, we have not gotten any traction as regards the case. Even the Okowa story. All of a sudden, once the pivot happened, we don't hear anything. You can tell us that, oh, the case, we still leave the case and we are looking at it. But the fact that Nigerians do not trust most of the things that are said, that's the curious part. Why, as at today, you've not been able to nail the Yaya Bello investigation with the treasure trove of facts that the EFCC chairman did release as at that point in time? With all the transactions from the schools and everything, you guys were cocksure. And don't forget, you know, we worked together. In the media, work with you on that case. That's why we're asking you.
I don't think I got your question, Rufai.
Why have you people not been able to prosecute that Yaya Bello case with the treasure trove of certainty you had? You forget that the EFCC chairman even put his job on the line. Why till now?
No, Rufai, I don't think there is a law, so to speak. It is one thing you need to do is you need to understand how criminal prosecution works in Nigeria. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Are you hearing?
I can hear you.
You need to understand how criminal prosecution works in Nigeria. It takes some time before you prove some of these charges in court. Like as I speak to you, the trial is still ongoing before the courts. We are presenting witnesses, we are presenting evidence. It is not the commission that is going to decide the matter. It's the court that will decide the matter. All we need to do is to follow the prosecution, how it's going on in court, and ensure that at the end of the day, both the prosecution and the defense get justice. But having said that, Yaya Bello, as we speak, is under trial, but the Constitution presumes that anyone who is under trial is presumed to be innocent until that case is proven. So whatever is happening to him within his party, that is a party affair. It has nothing to do with the EFCC. It has nothing to do with the charge that we have filed against him.
But it does also...
What we owe Nigeria. The responsibility... I'm coming, please. The responsibility that we owe Nigeria is to be faithful to the charges that we have filed against him in court. And we are prosecuting those charges religiously. Nothing has happened. Nothing has gone amiss in terms of prosecution of those cases. And we are committed to doing that.
Okay, you can say that, yes. You know, he has the right to still do a thing. But isn't it... It looks like an indictment on the same government, that the same government, which EFCC is a corollary of the same government, you know, the same government that has pointed all of these out, is the same government, the same, you know, leading party of the country that you are having this chummy moments with, that is even, you know, very close to them now. And that's why a lot of people are looking, that even say he wants to run for Senate. But real quickly, what's the back and forth between the EFCC and Malami? What is transpiring? Because he too is saying a lot about you guys.
Very briefly, please.
Very briefly.
Well, Rufai, in terms of Yaya Bello, whatever the party does to him, that is the party's business. EFCC is not a political party. We are not interested in politics. Ours is a law enforcement organization, and we are enforcing the law, so to speak. We have nothing to do with what happens in the political realm. As regards Malami, he has been charged to court. He's been granted, I think the bail application will be heard on the 7th. Once the court decides whether he's granted bail or otherwise, we continue with the prosecution in court. All the other allegations that we are hearing him make, those are side talks. The issue of persecution should not even arise. What should interest Nigeria is that the allegation made against you, what is your defense? Have you committed any of those things? All those properties that have been showcased, they didn't fall from the sky. How did you get those properties? For instance, you spent 8 years as Attorney General and Minister of Justice. You didn't get those properties before coming to office.
Properties were not in the charges.
No.
All right.
They were not in the final charge. You see, that's the problem people have with EFCC. You do media trial, but in the final charge, all those over 200 billion worth property were not in the final charge. It was just, 1 billion here, 1 billion there, Montauk Auto and all of that. All the over 200 and something billion property that you guys were shut down were not in the final charge. So you will do media trial. That's what they're saying.
Excuse me, Rufai.
Yes, Malga.
No, Rufai, there's nothing like media trial. There's nothing like media trial. You are jumping the gun. Ours is a law enforcement. We have their own strategy. You are a journalist. There are issues that we have presented before the court. That does not preclude us from taking other actions. There are forfeiture proceedings, for instance, if you ask me, that may come up during the trial. But we don't have to reveal all our strategies to you. Yours is to report the case as they unfold.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a happy New Year,
Mr. Uwujaren, thank you for your time with us this morning. We continue to interrogate, as you've established this morning, that EFCC is an independent organization away from politics. Thank you.